Okay, what's up YouTube? It's One Way Up here back with another video. And in this video, I have a 2023 Ford Explorer Limited for you. So this is the latest generation of the Ford Explorer, which was revised in 2020/2021. You do have a few different trim levels, starting with the base model. Then you have the XLT trim. You have this one in front of you, which is the limited trim. And then there's a ST line, which is a performance line that Ford has. And after that, you have the top level trim, which is the titanium. So one of the nice features that comes with this limited trim is this nice grille that they have. They do have chrome painted stripes going across the grille, and the mesh part is painted silver as well, so it gives it a more luxurious look. On the base and XLT models, you don't have the silver painted chrome on the grille. Moving down, you do have these fog lights that come with the XLT and limited trim. You do get some nice 20-inch aluminum wheels. Get some chrome running along the side of the car. Another really nice feature that they added to this limited trim is you do get gloss side view mirrors, which are also power folding as well, and LED turn signals in it. Have some nice chrome on the door handles to the vehicle. But overall, the profile of the Ford Explorer is a more sleeker look than the previous generation. It kind of slopes down towards the rear, but you still get a great amount of space in this vehicle. You have Explorer with a chrome painted sill running along the back, right below the Ford badge. See limited and four-wheel drive. One thing I really like that Ford did for the limited trim and up is that they added exhaust, so you do get dual exhaust tips on your limited Ford Explorer. On the ST, you'll get quad exhaust, and the titanium, you'll get quad exhaust as well. And you guys are gonna look at the side of the car. I am impressed with how Ford made improvements to this generation versus the last generation. This one is a much better car overall. Now, this car is definitely going to come with remote start. The other trim levels, there are options for the ones below, or the ST and titanium trim, you will get your remote start as standard. One thing that I really do like about the Ford keys for remote start is that when you remote start it, you do have a green light that shows up on the key. I don't know if the camera is catching that, but let's say you're starting your car and you can't hear the horn, or you want to know if the car is within range to get started. You can remote start it, and then the green light will light up on the key, and it'll let you know that the car has been started. Another great thing I love about this Ford Explorer is that the mirrors automatically fold when you lock it. It is keyless entry, so I just put my hand here and the mirrors will unfold. Before getting inside the car, another nice feature that Fords have is you do have a code combination to lock and unlock your car without having the key present. So let's say I wanted to lock my key in the car, I can put the key in the car and then hold these two buttons and it locks the mirror. If I want to unlock the car, I swipe down and then I type in the code to get into the car. So we have an all black interior in this version of it, but you do have options. I'm going to unlock the hood. Now the car automatically shuts off when you open up the hood for safety reasons. Now that was easy. I do like that there's no latch to unhinge when you open up the hood. It's just a quick and simple, just lift it up. So here you're looking at a 4-liter EcoBoost engine, puts out 300 horsepower. Ford also offers a V6 hybrid engine that you can get, which puts out 318 horsepower. You're going to get much better miles per gallon on the highway with that. And the highest output engine they do have is the 400 horsepower engine that's in the ST line and the titanium line. But what I can say about this engine, 300 horsepower is solid amount of power for the car in this class. One thing that I will say is that it does take about a half a second to a second for the turbos to spool up for the car to get going. So you do lose that with having this turbo engine as opposed to a naturally aspirated. But this car gets great fuel economy, great in this class. So I will say that is the trade-off that you get for fuel economy. But showing you guys the car, stepping inside. So the start button is up here now. Another thing about this trim is that you do get this nice wood pattern running along the front of the car's dash. It's not real wood, but it does give the car a more premium feel over the other models, which is just a silver or gray. So I'm going to start the car. You hear those chimes from Ford. Okay, starting with the door. One of the first things that stick out from this one is that you do have this badge for the Bose sound system. So this vehicle, the limited trim, the ST line, the titanium, you do get a nice Bose sound system, which has great bass, it's loud, and it sounds much better than the other options. You have your mirrors, buttons to automatically fold the mirrors if you're in a tight spot. Controls for the windows. The rear windows are not automatic up and down, but the front is. Have your automatic light controls, your fog lights, screen brightness for your center screen, and trunk release. So as you can see, the screen has a message up. I'm just gonna hit OK to bypass it. But in the limited trim and up, you do get a bigger display. The base model is a smaller screen, and the XLT you do get this as well, but you do have options and settings to control what the display shows, if you want to reset your oil life, and that could all be controlled through these buttons here on the steering wheel. But nice screen, you know, no complaints about it. You do have your active lane assist, which you press the button on the side of the turn signal stalk and you can turn it on and off. You have your high beams. Over here you do have your windshield wipers. You can adjust the front and back wipers on the side here. I believe this car is also equipped with automatic wipers as well. Another amazing feature on this vehicle is you do have the cruise control, which will automatically brake and keep your distance for cars in front of you, and you do have a steering assist, which will keep you in the lane as long as the car senses the lane. So with this lane assist technology, it's not as great as other manufacturers like Tesla or other later manufacturers, but it does a great job when you're on the highway or you're in a stop and go traffic and the lanes are clearly visible. The car has no issues keeping you in the lane. The only thing you will have to do is make sure the steering wheel is touched every now and again so that it'll keep the system activated. You have volume controls, mute. You can talk to the car to tell it to do certain things with that audio button right there. Steering wheel is nice. It's not huge, it's not a big steering wheel, but nice soft leather wrap steering wheel. Moving over to the center screen, you do have an option to get this car with the bigger screen, which is more like a tablet that the later Ford Edge Titaniums have, and even the SEL Ford Edges have as well. But this is the standard screen that the car comes with. It's pretty responsive. You do have, you know, built-in navigation, as you can see. You also have your Apple Auto, Apple CarPlay in Android Auto. You do have options here for your settings. You know, basically nothing different from this infotainment system than you'll get in other manufacturers. Moving down, have controls to change your next song, volume, a tune for the radio. I will say I do love having a physical knob to tune the radio channels. It's much better than other vehicles where it'll just be a screen and you have to tap left and right, or you can only go through your presets, but it's a lot easier to scroll and it'll scroll at a good pace too. So this button is for the cameras. It has 360 cameras, so it'll help you as you're parking. You check both sides of the car. You see how close you are to the sidewalk so you don't scuff the rims. Hazard lights, and this option is to turn on and off your parking sensors. Now moving down, you have right here for your climate controls. A nice feature that I love that I have activated right now is the ventilated seats. You don't get this on the XLT and base trim, but on the ST trim, just limited, and titanium trim, you get your ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, heated seats. For the passenger, you do get the heated and ventilated seats as well. Dual zone climate control. You do have a menu option to control the rear climate if you'd like, and control the direction of the airflow. Moving down, you do have a compartment. I have it closed right now because I do like the look and finish of the silver that they have running along this part of the car. You do have your shift knob. Got rid of the old lever, and it takes up less space, and it's pretty nicely touched, I will say. It has the silver with some ridges running along the side of it. You have your neutral, shift to reverse, cameras come up, you have park, and you have your low mode. Turn that down. So when I open up this part of the console, you do have a good amount of space. You have your USB ports, both the newer USB-C and the older one, 12-volt power outlet, and decent amount of space, I will say. You can fit a lot in there. And let's say you want to keep your phone charged, you pull the wire here, close this, and there is a space for your wire to come through for you to charge your phone. You do have a compartment here for you to place your phone. So let's say you're driving, you want to easily access your phone without holding it, just place your phone right there. Cup holders, nice size. You have your parking brake, electronic parking brake, and your brake hold. Drive mode selector is down here. Moving back behind the cup holders, you do have a wireless charging pad, which is conveniently positioned so you can put your phone there, charges, right away, and it is out of sight. So some manufacturers, they will have their charging pads in awkward positions, like up here, but I like the fact that they put it back here because it saves on the space. It's really out of your view or out of where you are going to be placing things. So I will congratulate Ford on that. They did a good job with integrating their wireless charging pad into the center of the front of the vehicle. These seats are pretty comfortable, and one thing I love about Ford is that you do have the option to adjust your headrest just by pushing it forward. You do have different positions. You hear the clicks, and then when you push it all the way forward, you can push it all the way back to the rear position. And I'm going to step into the second row. So when you close the car and you have the key outside of the vehicle, it'll honk the horn twice to let you know. Giving you guys a look at the second row. This car is equipped in a 6-seat position, so you have 2 in the front, 2 in the second, and 2 in the rear. But you also have an option to get a bench in the second row, so you'll have 7 seats. Nice silver aluminum along the door. You do have rear sunshades. grab handle. Second row is spacious. I do have the seat pretty far back, and I am 6'3", and I sit back here, or I feel comfortably in the seat. You have rear climate controls, and a nice thing, you get heated seats for the second row. Does feel nice and high. I do have plenty of headroom, and the second passenger headrest is not adjustable like in the front, but they have it positioned in its default position. It's not too far, so I feel pretty comfortable. Now let's see if this can recline. It does have a recline option. Nice. And you can fold up this armrest if you want to get more space, but it is pretty nice back here. You do have vanity lights for the second row, your vents, a hook for your jacket, or if you want to hang anything. And in the third row, you want to put smaller kids in the third row because you will get less space as you move closer to the back. But let's see if I fit. Okay, so now I am in the third row. Now the second row seats can be adjusted, but as the way it's right now, I cannot put both my legs back here. I have to keep one leg out front and this leg all the way to the side to sit back here, but this is gonna be for kids or really small adults. Let me see if I adjust the front seat, if I'll have more space. Okay, so I've moved the front seat up about halfway, and I am able to get both knees behind the chair, but I still have to keep my foot slightly out into the center to sit back here. But it is doable. Just wouldn't want to be back here for a long ride, but there's still a lot of space in this car. So now we're gonna step out and I'm gonna show you the trunk space. So an interesting thing is that when you close the rear door, the horn doesn't go off. It's only for the front driver door if you leave with the key in your pocket. So the car does have automatic trunk release, so you can open it from the key. And apparently it has a kick closing feature where you put your foot underneath, but I don't know how to operate those. So this is the trunk with the third row up. Don't get that much space in the third row, which is pretty common with a lot of SUVs in this class. But if you are going to carry people, just make sure they don't have a lot of stuff if you're carrying 6 or 7 people, depending on which configuration you have. But if you have 4 people in this vehicle, or 5 with the bucket seats, with the bench row seats, you grab this and then you pull the seat down. You get a lot more space with the third row down. Even with just one of the seats down, you can fit a decent amount of stuff back here. So now I'm doing it with the other side. And as you can see, you can fit suitcases, bags, skis, so many different things you can fit back here. You also have an extra compartment on either side on this part of the trunk if you want to put smaller things that you want to keep secure. And you have extra space down here. So now I'm going to close the trunk. So this concludes my review on the Ford Explorer. My opinion, Ford did a great job with this generation. They improved on a lot. You know, you get space, you get comfort, you get good fuel economy for its class. So if you are in the market for one of these, I would definitely recommend the XLT trim at least and up. If you're someone who's into features and you want a decent amount of features in your car, I would definitely recommend this limited trim. You get the features, and you also get some nice exterior styling that separates it from the other options. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.